Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Karina Joy and I talk about books. If you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate it. I love having this community to talk about books, and it just makes me feel very honored that you would take your time to watch my videos. Today, I'm going to be doing the My Favorite Things tag with a twist. Okay, so I watched Jack from Spread Book Joy do this video, and I really wanted to do it, but I also wanted to share my least favorite things as well. So the twist is that I am going to share my favorite things and my least favorite things just because it's fun. I can't remember the original creator for this tag, but I will post the name here so that you can go and check out her video. I just thought it would be a fun one to do, especially since we're coming up on summer, and summer is always happy even though it's disgustingly hot here. But I always enjoy spending more time with my family, all of those good things. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question is, who is your favorite musician or band? I typically don't listen to a lot of music because I just don't. I've never been a huge music fan. I sing in church, that's about it. If I were to choose to listen to music, it would be worship music, and so I like things like Carrie Job or Phil Wickham or Casting Crowns. Those are all some of my favorite go-to bands. As far as my least favorite, I used to live a very rough life, and it was filled with all kinds of craziness. And so any songs that kind of bring me back to that world, I don't like. One of those bands would be, or it's a musician, would be Eminem, things like that. I don't like listening to stuff that brings back memories from that time in my life. Okay, what are your top 3 favorite films? So, I am not the biggest movie watcher. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, it's usually a TV show. I like the length of TV series, but I do watch movies. I just tend to only watch them once. So as far as my favorite movies, I feel like if I had a favorite movie, it would have to be something that I don't mind watching again and again. And so several came to mind, things like Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, and all of the Marvel Avengers movies. And then I am a Trekkie, so Star Trek as well. The newer ones. The older ones, not my favorite, but I do like the new ones that came out about 5 or 10 years ago. I can watch those over and over again and be just fine. My least favorite films are things that make my eyes roll, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, who even put this into production? Like, ugh. So recently my husband wanted me to watch Top Gun because the new one's coming out, and he was like, you have to watch this so we can go watch the new one. Honestly, that was not my favorite movie. I feel like for as big as it got, it was very poorly written, and that might not be a popular opinion, but I just really didn't like it. So stuff like that's poorly written, that got a lot of hype, that I just don't care about. And then, my husband loves 1980s kung fu movies. You know, the type that have that are translated and the English ends before their mouths stop moving. I really hate those. Okay, so question number 3 is, what is your favorite scent? So my favorite scent has to be, it needs to make my house smell like something is baking. Specifically cookies, but it could be something else, maybe a pie or something like that. I just really love it to smell like something's baking in the oven, and that's all year. I don't discriminate and only make that during the baking high seasons of the year. My least favorite is cherry scented things. Oh my goodness. Ugh. When I was a teenager, I worked at a candle factory, and it's the best job I ever had. I loved it. But they had this scent called Tickled Pink, and it was cherry almond or something like that. Oh, it made my head hurt so bad. It was their most popular seller, but I hated it. Anytime we made it in the factory, they would tell me ahead of time so that I could do stuff in the front, because I just could not stand to even be in the room with it because it made me sick. So anything cherry flavor or cherry scented, don't like it. Okay, so question number 4 is, what is your favorite Disney film? Let me just show you something real quick. You see that guy up there? I am in love with Lilo and Stitch. It came out when I was a teenager, and it just brings happy things to my heart. I also really love The Emperor's New Groove, because that also came out as a teen, and my friends and I had it memorized, and we just loved it. So those 2 are my favorites. And coincidentally, those are 2 movies that Jack mentioned as well from Spread Book Joy when she did this tag. I didn't copy her. It just, those are my favorites. So we have something in common. My least favorite Disney movie is Princess and the Frog. And the reason why I don't like it is because it has voodoo in it, and some of the characters I feel like are a little too scary for my children, I guess, and for me. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just know that when I watched it, I was like, how is this a kid's show? I thought it was too scary, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe I was just in a mood that day. I don't know. But as far as what I know, that's my least favorite Disney movie. Okay, so the 5th question is, what is your favorite season? So my favorite season is spring. I love the weather in spring. I love the smell of spring. I love the flowers and just everything coming back. I used to always say that fall and winter were my favorite, but I realized this year it's spring, because every spring I just get this nostalgic feeling, and I just love it so much. So spring is my favorite. My least favorite is summer, and specifically hurricane season. So we live in South Texas, and it is excessively humid here in the summers. We tend to have like 99% humidity most of the summer, which is just disgusting. You just feel the whole summer. But specifically, I don't like hurricane season, because during hurricane season, we have a lot of tropical depressions, which are storms that could turn into a hurricane. And those make the weather even grosser. Not to mention, the mosquitoes are terrible during the summer. So from about August to about mid-October is really like my least favorite time of year here. The rest of the year really isn't that bad. The weather's awesome. There's always a breeze because we live close to the ocean. So I'm good most of the year here, except for about 3 months, August, September, October. I just stay inside and don't do a whole lot outside. Okay, what is your favorite seasonal drink? So, this one is peppermint. I love peppermint anything. You give me a peppermint coffee or a peppermint ice cream or whatever, and I'm happy. I'm very angry that this is not a all year flavor. It aggravates me. I can understand why like pumpkin spice is seasonal because pumpkins are seasonal, but peppermint is not. And it should be an all year thing. Now, places like Starbucks, I can still get peppermint in my stuff, which is awesome. But there's other places that you mention peppermint anytime outside of November and December, and they're like, we don't have that. It's dumb. I don't like it. Okay. The drink that I don't like is like the real syrupy, sugary summer drinks like snow cones or Slurpees or those kinds of things. I don't find them refreshing. They give me a headache. I just don't like them. They make me nauseous. So summer drinks definitely are not my thing. And I'm also not a big fan of pumpkin spice. I know that most everybody loves it, but it's just not my favorite. Peppermint is where it's at. Okay, do you have a favorite shirt or article of clothing? So recently I have been loving a shirt that I ordered, I think it was back in January or December. It's from a company called She Who Was, and, oh no, it's from a company called She Who Is, and it is a Christian t-shirt, and I'll put a picture here because I'm pretty sure it's dirty. But it says Mount Sinai Bible Project, and I love the graphics on it. I love that it's a Christian shirt, and it's comfy and cozy. Definitely my favorite these days. My least favorite article of clothing is dresses. Now, every now and then I find a dress that I really love. Every now and then I find a dress that I really enjoy wearing, but most of the time I really hate dresses. It has to be the right length. It has to complement my body the right way, and not a lot of dresses do. Unfortunately, most dresses are made to be too short, too low cut in the front, too low cut in the back, and it's not comfortable for me. So most of the time I'm not gonna wear a dress. Who's your favorite author? Okay, so in my recent vlog, I mentioned that Oscar Wilde is quickly becoming my favorite author. This is the first time I've ever read any of his stuff, and I absolutely love everything I've read so far. I think I'm gonna have to read all his stuff just to see for sure, but definitely one of my favorites, one of my new favorites. Another one is Ellen Montgomery. I have only read short stories of hers. I need to dive into some of her books. Anne of Green Gables, I have a hard time with because I've seen almost all of the movies and TV adaptations and things like that, and so I feel like I know the story, and so I'm just not drawn to it, but I know I need to read it because I've heard it's really good. So let me know. Is it better than the TVs and TV shows and movies? Because if it is, then I might give it a chance. If it's exactly the same as the TVs and movies, I think I'm gonna get bored with it because I've seen so much of Anne of Green Gables my whole life. So I don't know. I need to give it a try, but it's tough. But as far as like short stories, Ellen Montgomery is one of my favorite authors. I definitely want to dive into some of her books. Some of the ones that I have found recently that I want to try are A Tangled Web. Hi. Layla.
Jessie.
Yeah, Jessie. Thank you. So yeah, L.M. Montgomery is one of my favorites. Another one, sorry, I'm noticing that the lighting is getting darker. I didn't put up my lights because the sunshine was beautiful when I started this, but I guess the sun's starting to go down a little bit, and so I'll see if I can brighten it up a little bit or something, but if not, this is what you get. Sorry. Okay. Another one of my favorite authors is Tracy Peterson. She is a Christian author, and as far as Christian books go, she is my favorite. She does historical fiction romances, and I'm not big on that genre with any other author, really. Romances tend to bother me because a lot of times it's like instant love or, I don't know, just silliness. And unfortunately, in the Christian world, it seems like it's even more silly. And I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just heartless. I don't know. But Tracy Peterson, I don't know, the way she writes her books, I just don't feel that way about the stuff. And I know sometimes she has some cheesy plot lines and stuff, but her books really make me feel good. And so if I ever have a time where I want to just read something that's easy and makes me feel good about something, I usually pick up one of her books. My least favorite author is Gregory Maguire. He is the one that wrote Wicked, which became a Broadway play. The Broadway play is fantastic. I loved it. The book, on the other hand, was terrible. And yeah, I couldn't even get through much of the first chapter because there was so much filth in the book. So, least favorite author for sure. Do you have a favorite spot to read or write? So I really love to read on my porch swing. That would be my favorite spot. However, I like to read anywhere. I don't really have like a preference. There's not a least favorite spot to read. When I'm writing something, I like to sit down at a table just because it is, the perfect spot. And I have a certain chair at my dining room table that's the perfect height. So I sit there and I write at my table. As far as I know a second ago I said I don't have a least favorite place to read, but I really don't like reading or writing if it's really noisy. So if my kids are real hyper or there's a lot going on, I'll tend to not read at that time and I'll wait for a quieter time to read. So I typically always have a book on me or around me, and I will read, and then if it gets too loud, I'll put it down for a while, and then I'll pick it up when it gets quieter. And then if it gets loud again, I tend to put it down. It's how my life works with 6 kids. But least favorite time to read is when it's noisy. Okay, what's your favorite food or dessert? So my favorite food is hibachi and sushi. By far my favorite. I love it. My husband and I go and eat at Japanese steakhouses when we are going out on dates. We get sushi, hibachi, best meal ever, I think. I wish I could have it every day, but that probably wouldn't be very healthy. My favorite dessert is either cookies. I love just an amazing sugar cookie, or milkshakes. Milkshakes are where it's at. As far as my least favorite food, I really hate salmon. Salmon is it's probably I don't know, I just can't even think about it without getting grossed out. It's nasty. And then my least favorite dessert is souffle. So my husband and I tried souffle on our 1-year anniversary, and oh my goodness, I was like, why is this a thing? It's awful. Did not like it at all. I think because it tastes like warm milk. I've never been a fan of that, so I think that's the main reason why I didn't like it. It just wasn't my thing. What is your favorite time of day? So, used to, I was not a morning person, and I loved staying up late at night, but now that I've kind of figured out a good rhythm to my life, I've gotten to where I don't really have a least favorite part of the day. I get up early in the morning with my husband and we have coffee before the kids wake up. And I love that time of day because it's spending time with him. I also really love the quiet after the kids go to bed. But I do love spending the day with the kids as well when we're playing and reading together and all of those things. So I would say I don't really have a least favorite time of day. The only time I could say that I'm really like, oh, I hate this, is if I don't get a lot of sleep. I don't want to get up early. I need more sleep. But other than that, that's the only time that I can think of that I'm just like, can't do it. Okay, so question number 12. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is green, specifically like emerald green or mint green. I also really love dark blues and turquoises, and I could be like the little girls in my Sunday school class who told me that their favorite color is gold. I love gold and rose gold as well. Those are my favorite color ranges. I don't really have a least favorite color. I think all the colors are beautiful in their own applications. There might be colors that I wouldn't wear on me, but I would love it on a flower or, something like that. So I don't really have a least favorite color. They're all really beautiful. Okay, so the next question is who's your top 3 favorite YouTube channels? I just decided that I would go with types of YouTube because I have so many people that I watch and I love them all. I didn't want to pick, my top 3. So my favorite types of YouTube are BookTube, obviously. I have a BookTube channel. I must love it, I love watching things about true crime. I have found recently some channels where it's like storytelling about true crime. I really enjoy that. If I'm busy doing something, I will listen to those because I find them interesting. And then there's a lot of documentaries and things like that on YouTube that also are true crime. And then another channel that I really do like that has a bunch of different people on it is called Dry Bar Comedy. This is a channel that's based in Utah, and all the comedy is clean. And so there's nothing on it, no cuss words or vulgar jokes or anything like that. So I really enjoy listening to those as well. My least favorite YouTube channels are just anything where you can tell that the person isn't being genuine. A while ago, I found a homeschool channel, and you could just tell this woman was either faking or lying, or I don't know. It was almost like she was just filming about homeschooling just so that she would have content to create, but she wasn't really doing the things that she was filming, and I don't like that. To me, I feel like, let's be genuine. It's a social media platform. We're just talking about life and doing things, and people like to watch that. So there's no need to be dishonest about what you're doing. So that's really like the least favorite that I have. Okay, so question 15 is, what's your favorite place you have visited? When I was 16, I went and stayed with my aunt and uncle in Seattle, Washington for a month. And Seattle is beautiful. I love all the things around it, the mountains, the waterfalls. Seattle itself has a lot of really amazing things. And then we also took a trek up to Victoria, Canada, and we drove. So we drove and we got on a ferry and went over the water and drove into Canada. And I loved that. It was so much fun, so beautiful. It was fun to go to another country. This is before you had to have passports, so I couldn't do it these days because I don't have a passport. But yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. My least favorite places to go would have to be New York City and Denver. I have I grew up close to Denver, and my entire life I've hated Denver. Every time we go through Denver, there's ridiculous traffic. There's homeless people on every street. And not that I have a thing against homeless people, it's kind of scary. Not to mention things seem run down, and I don't know. If you live in Denver and you love it, I'm sorry, but I've never liked Denver. Another place that I don't really like visiting is New York City. I've been to a lot of large cities, and New York City was my least favorite. Basically because maybe it's overhyped. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't a place for me. I didn't like that there was trash everywhere and dirt everywhere, and it just felt everything was so close together. I don't know. It just felt so crowded and not a place that I would want to go again. Not to mention, like, the subways were disgustingly hot, so you would go down it and feel like you were in an oven. I just didn't like it. Not my favorite. So the last question is, who do you tag? So I'm probably not going to tag anybody because I don't know who has done this. I am going to link Jack from Bookjoy, Spread Bookjoy, down in the comments. She wanted to be tagged in any videos or anybody that did this video so that she could watch it. So thank you, Jack, for doing this video because I enjoyed it. It was something fun. I like talking about books, but it was really fun to talk about some other things for once. So thank you for that. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. You can answer some of these questions in the comments. If you are a booktuber, go ahead and do this video as well because I would love to see some of your favorite things. And if you want to add the twist with your least favorite things, I would also love to see that as well. So yeah, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video.